Welcome to the SAP S/4HANA Quality Management Training Session. I'm GastonLemo, an SAP manufacturing consultant, and I'm excited to guide you through today's learning experience. Today's session, we will discuss about the material specification. Let's recap a little bit. We discussed about inspection plans, we discussed about routing and master recipes, right? So when we have master recipes and routing, we can add, for the master recipe, we can add a completely new operation and a phase. We can add a new phase only for QM. In the case of routing, we can add an operation for QM, or we can reuse one key, right? Control key that allows the master inspection characteristic to be added, right? But there's another way of doing that without using inspection plan, which is basically material specification. If we still need to do an inspection process, we still need to use master recipes and routings. But if we need to use the good receipt, for example, from a PO or from production, we can just use material specification. This is a simple way of adding the different characteristics or master inspection characteristics that we want to use instead of using an inspection plan. What's the difference between them? Well, the inspection plan, as you know, is plan specific, right? So we can have some differences from one plan to another. This is very, very useful, especially when you're producing these materials worldwide, right? And you might have differences in the region, differences in the climate, maybe hot weather, maybe cold weather. That will make you do probably more inspection or different inspection for the same materials, the same products in different regions, as I said. So normally we want to have much more control using inspection plans. However, if you are completely, let's say, out of risk in terms of this need of differences between the plants and the material is very, very simple and very specific, maybe you don't need to use inspection plan and you can just use material specification, which is this way we are going to discuss today. Okay, let's jump into the system. As usual, we have logistics. We go to quality management. We go to quality planning. Because what we're talking about here are records or master records, right? So we need to think about that we are planning our quality process, okay? That's why we go to quality planning. And inside the quality planning, we are dealing with inspection planning in particular, because we want to inspect a material with certain characteristics. We can use inspection plan, we can use master recipes, routing, and we can use specifically material specification, which is this one. Okay, so we double click QS61. Okay, let's do for this raw material. Just press enter here. And the system is asking us for a specific master inspection characteristic here, okay? That's why the plant is required. It doesn't mean that this specification will be affecting only the plant we are putting here, okay? It just means that this is the source of the information, in this case, a master inspection characteristic that we want to bring in, okay? So let's put 1710. Let me find specification. I'm sorry, a master inspection characteristic to put into this specification. Let me search for it. Yeah, we can use either way here. We don't even know what this RM15 is, so we just assume that we have some carbon dioxide content, and let's just assign it. It's version 1. Okay, let me just press enter here. There you are. So once we press enter, we can see there is a reference available and it's locked. This means that this master inspection characteristic is reference, right? It's a reference characteristic. So let's recap a little bit as well with this, just in case. If you haven't seen the video for the master inspection characteristic, you can go there. But basically what I'm trying to say here is that we have three options, right? We have the incomplete copy model that we cannot use, okay? This is one restriction in the material specification. The master inspection characteristics we can use there are only complete copy model or reference characteristic. Recap with this. When we put a reference characteristic means that whatever we change here will change all the inspection plan and inspection specification that are used in this master inspection characteristic in particular. Okay, so it's a centralized way of updating all inspection plan and all places where this is being used automatically. Okay, the second model, the second option here, it's the complete copy model. That means that we have a complete, similar to the reference actually, okay? Complete means that we have all the specs and ranges. For example, if I click here, you will see that the 90 till 95 is the range that these can be accepted, right? If it's higher than 95, probably there is an issue. Lower than 90, there is an issue as well from the quality perspective, okay? So this is a complete model as well, right? But in this case, we are saying that this is a reference characteristic. So if it's a reference, it will be locked, okay? It's that lock we saw, okay? I will show you in a minute. So the complete copy model is similar to this one, but you can copy, and from that moment onwards, you can do any change you want, and it will never be linked to the regional master inspection characteristic, okay? It's like you're doing a copy of it, okay? So this is a reference, means if we change it in the master inspection characteristic, it will change here. If we open this one, right? If we, for example, cancel this reference, we will be able to do changes here, okay, without any issue, okay? But let's leave it this way. It's just for the sake of understanding. I just wanted to be clear on the differences and the requirements, okay? Again, we cannot use the incomplete copy model here, okay? It has to be, let's say, already define the ranges, for example, the percentages, the maximum, the specification, okay? That's the term for specification, right? When you are defining a range, that's a specification for that, okay? And that's it. We can, of course, we can add more here, right? You can have kind of a sequence of different characteristics that you want to inspect, right, for that material. But for the sake of understanding this way, this is enough. You have the idea now. So let's save it. And that's it. So this material now has a material specification, okay? From the QM perspective, we should review, of course, the, let me do it. Let's jump into the QM view. We don't even have a QM view here, okay? So I hope you remember how can we, let's say, create the view, right? It's basically, let's go to MMO1. RM15. And we will define chemical. And we will define, I think this is raw materials, so it has to be raw here. Okay, it was mechanical engineer originally for this one, okay? Yeah, that's fine. So remember to remove all the views, only select quality management because we want to create only that one, and then accept. At 1710, organizational labels, and there you are. Okay, so we are in the quality management view. We are able now to activate this. Okay, so let me activate inspection types. Let's activate inspection type 01. In general, if we're going to use material specification, we should have a specific inspection type, right? Because we want to avoid changing by material at all costs, okay? It's not advisable to do this change. So I would suggest to create a new inspection type for material specification. Because one of the differences is that instead of task list, we need to put material specification. Okay, this is important. I'm gonna do it just for the sake of saving some time, because otherwise we should go to inspection type and create a new one. Maybe we can do that as an exercise as well for the specific video, more advanced video where we are creating, or we will be creating, a new inspection type, and I can show you the way you can do that easily. Okay. But again, do not change this normally, okay? Because otherwise you cannot be consistent. You can forget to do it in some of them, okay? So it's better to use an inspection type specifically for inspection with material specification, like this case. Therefore, you don't have to worry about inconsistencies, okay? But in this case, this is just for the sake of teaching you what is important when we're dealing with material specification, okay? Because of course, we're not going to use a task list in this case. Okay, let me save it. Check customize and inspection type. Yeah, it's saying that because of course, we are not considering the original customizing process, right? Which was basically inspection task list. Okay, that's what I was saying. Create a new inspection type instead of that. But this is just a warning, okay? It's not an issue, really an issue. I will show you that it's saved anyway. See? No problem with that. Okay, excellent. I think we cover the material specification as main topic for today. And I also show you how to use it, right? Because you need to set up accordingly the material. Otherwise, you will not use it. Okay. Excellent. Thanks for your time. Thanks for making it this far. I hope this session helped you gain valuable insight into SAP QM. Keep learning, keep improving, and I'll see you in the next session.